Here we'll write a Python program to display employee information using hierarchical inheritance. So first in comment line we'll write, first we'll define class employee with constructor and parameters employee number and employee name. So self employee number as ENO and ename as employee name. And we'll assign this to local variable as self ENO equal to ENO and self.ename equal to ename. Then we'll define another class department as DEPT which inherits employee. For this also we'll define constructor with init and 4 parameters as self, ENO, ename, DEPT, joining date. We will get the employee number and employee name from the superclass employee. So super.init ENO and ename. That is, we are getting the value of employee number and employee name from the superclass employee, and we'll assign self.dept equal to dept, that is department, and self.joining date equal to joining date. And in this class we will define one method employee information which will display all the employee information. So def employee info with self will print displaying employee information and will print employee number, and here we'll print self.eno. Then we'll print employee name, self.ename, then department, self.dept, and joining date, self.jdate. Then we'll define another class salary which also inherits employee. Since we are using hierarchical inheritance, the same class will be inherited by two different classes. Then we'll define constructor with parameters employee number and employee name from the superclass employee, and 3 variables basic, DA percentage, and HRA percentage. Here also we'll use super to get the employee number and employee name from the superclass. And we'll set self.basic equal to basic, self.DA percentage equal to DA percentage, and self.HRA percentage equal to HRA percentage. Then we'll define one method employee salary with self, and here we'll print displaying employee information. Here also first we'll print employee number and employee name as self.eno, employee name as self.ename, then we'll print basic, self.basic, then we'll calculate DA as self.basic into self.DA percentage, and this whole divided by 100, and then we'll print DA. Then we'll calculate HRA, so self.basic into self.HRA, and this whole divided by 100. Then we'll print HRA. Then we'll calculate total as basic plus DA plus HRA, and we'll print total salary as total. Then outside the function we'll accept the values from the user. So ENO equal to input, enter employee number, then we'll accept ename, so input, enter employee name, then department, then joining date, then basic, then DA percentage, then HRA percentage. Then we'll create object for the class department. So D equal to DEPT, and we'll pass ENO, ename, DEPT, and joining date as a parameter, and we'll call the method employee info from that class. Then we'll create object for the class salary, and we'll pass employee number, employee name, basic, DA percentage, and HRA percentage. And we call the method employee salary from that class. Then we execute this. I will enter the data. It will display the data as employee number, name, department and joining date, and employee salary as employee number, name, salary, DA, HRA and total salary. So here we have displayed employee information using hierarchical inheritance. First we have defined a class employee with constructor and two parameters, employee number and employee name. Then we have defined another class department which will inherit the employee class, and it will define with constructor as four parameters, employee number, name, department and joining date, and employee number and name are inherited from the superclass employee. Then inside the department class, we have written a method employee information which will display the employee information as employee number, name, department and joining date. Then we have defined another class salary which also inherit employee, and here we have defined constructor parameter as employee number, name, basic, DA percentage and HRA percentage, where employee number and employee name are inherited from the superclass employee. And here we have defined a method employee salary. I will write here salary. And here we have displayed employee number, name, basic salary, then calculated DA and HRA values and total salary as basic plus DA plus HRA. Then we have accepted the input data from the user as employee number, name, department, joining date, DA percentage, basic and HRA percentage, and we have created object for the class department and called the method employee information from that class, and then we have created object for the class salary and we have called employee salary method from that class.